Ladies and gentlemen, I am Montoya. Crytek has responded to CIG's motion to dismiss, so let's get right into the lawsuit. Oh, Keemstar. Alright, Crytek gets to respond. Here it is. If you are catching up on the story, check out my previous video on this issue. I will link it at the end of this video. Long story short, and what is obvious here, is that Crytek is essentially using this as an opportunity to try promote themselves. This is what I'm getting. And we're going to read some language in here which makes it very obvious what they're thinking. Crytek is in trouble. From what I hear, they're in some financial trouble. And Crytek wants to get something, doesn't matter. They're throwing everything up on the wall. Let's see what sticks. So, has something stuck? Maybe. They may have something here. But most of it is just caca. So, let's start reading. And first of all, the language here is a bit different from the initial filing they made. It looks like it was probably written by someone else. So, they got suggestions from somebody else. But when they say things like a license to use Crytek's powerful video game development platform, why don't they just say our platform? Why do they have to say it's a powerful video game development platform? That sounds like an ad. They're basically trying to promote themselves here. But also, they bring up a little point here saying, but after accepting Crytek's assistance and after raising record-breaking amounts from video game consumers in a crowdfunding campaign, what does it matter how much CIG has raised? Because if CIG raised 5 million, would it be different? If they raised 50 million, would it be different? But what this line here is basically saying is they've raised so much money. We want some of that money because they have so much of it. It's okay if they give us some. That's the reading I get from it. But starting off, all right. The defendants promised that they would develop Star Citizen with Cryengine, not any other platform. Now, Leonard French, YouTube lawyer, amazing, very smart guy, brought this topic up, and it was about the use of the word exclusive. CIG had exclusivity to use Cryengine, and the argument he makes, which is the correct argument, is that it means they have the right to use that engine but not the obligation to. Because if you're developing a game and you hit a snag where you're saying, hey, this engine doesn't do what we need to shift engines, you as a game developer will do it. You're not tied in to use Cryengine, and it says so in the GLA itself. So this first paragraph is out because the word exclusive, as Leonard French so eloquently described, does not mean you are obliged and cannot use any other engine. That will not stick. The second point. Defendants promised they would prominently display Crytek copyright notices and trademarks both within Star Citizen and in any marketing materials for Star Citizen, but defendants have admittedly breached that promise because they're not using Cryengine, they're using Lumberyard. At the time where they were using Cryengine, it was displayed in our launcher window. Now they're no longer using Cryengine, so why in the world would they display Cryengine's logo if it's not being used? But this one may come back to bite Crytek in the ass. Because if they are arguing that portions of the source code are Cryengine and therefore they must display the logo, you're stepping, and by you I mean Crytek is stepping on Lumberyard's toes. Now, if someone uses Lumberyard, are they required to put Crytek's logo on their launch page or on any material they have now? Because if this is the argument, then Amazon gets involved. And when Amazon gets involved, what's that scene in Simpsons where Mr. Burns walks in with like his 28 attorneys? It's going to be like that. It's Jeff Bezos walking in with like 50 attorneys. That's what it's going to be. So yeah, the second paragraph, the second point here, no. This one may come back to bite them, but let's move on. Even though defendants have licensed Crytek Technology to develop only one game, they developed two. Second paragraph in the GLA says the game is Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. That's out, but they bring it up again. I don't understand why it's coming up again. They feel maybe that they have a point, but both Leonard French and Leo Lesser, who is an actual technology lawyer, said no. They're wrong on that. Defendants promised to provide Crytek with improvements or bug fixes that they may Cryengine while developing Star Citizen, alright? Again, Leo Lesser, who is an actual game technology lawyer, said that this language in the GLA was too vague when they said bug fixes. What is a bug fix? Is a bug fix simply, oh, there was supposed to be a comma here and a bracket over there, but it wasn't there, so we added it, here's the fix? Or is a bug fix meaning we built this entire new part of the software and we're going to now have to give it to you? Leo Lesser said that under no point in time can a game developer be required to make essential bug fixes and pass them on unless they were clearly defined. At no point was it clearly defined what a bug fix is. And I think this is the angle that CIG is going to take on it, because it's very vague to say bug fixes. A bug fix can be like a missing bracket, or bug fix can be a huge 10-page piece of code. No one codes 10 pages. 1,000 pages of code that cost $5 million to produce. So 60-40 here for CIG on the definition of what bug fixes can be. And the last point to bring up, defenders promised they would maintain confidentiality of Crytek's available technology, but they published excerpts of Crytek's source code and shared Crytek's technology with a third-party developer. This is the one which may stick because, as you all know, there's the faceware thing which CIG does, where the camera reads your face, and the faceware was a third-party developer. Did they hand over Crytek's code, or was it Lumberyard's code? So now CIG will have to respond to that. But if this was Crytek's code, what does Crytek get paid then? They have to get paid some damages. What are these damages? Is it $10? Is it $100? Is it $5,000? Crytek will have to say, by doing so, you have broken the agreement and X amount of damage was incurred. What is that damage? Keeping in mind that Cryengine is free now. So this last point here, Crytek may have something. We'll have to wait for CIG's response, and this may go to court. But again, Crytek will they're grabbing at straws. They want anything. So if they can just list out 5 BS points and have one good point, then that's at one good point they want to go on, and I think that's what they're doing. So yeah, exciting stuff, isn't it? Who would have thought that following game development would make you an expert in law? My parents would be so proud. Anyway, let's wait for CIG's response, and if this goes to court, we'll see where it goes from there. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment below. Is Crytek doing this just for publicity? Do they have anything at all? I think they have very little, maybe this last point. Let me know what you think. Feel free to share with friends and family. Let them know about this glorious channel that is mine. I'll see you in the next one.